It's the PokerNews Podcast.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 853rd episode of the PokerNews Podcast. I am Chad Holloway at Level 9 Studio in Las Vegas, joined by Kyna England and Mike Holtz. We are back. We're going to talk a lot, but first, Mike, what are you drinking there?
Sewage.
Looks like poop water.
No,
sewage.
so what it is it's a summer berry refresher from Starbucks. Shout out to Starbucks. No water, sub green tea, extra caffeine. Kyna was about to try it off air, and Chad said, "No, wait for the air. We gotta
try it."
I said, he said, "Can you please try it?" I said, "No, it looks like poop water.
Yeah.
Like, look at this thing. Like, ew." And look
you're
how
supposed
fancy
to-
Mike looks today, though. Okay.
Yeah.
Because he's got a button up, not a hoodie for once.
Yeah. No, I'm just so tropical.
Any
All right,
good?
it's kind of tasty.
It's just like, do you want to try it, Chad?
No,
It
I'm
tastes
good.
like tea.
I
It
want
tastes
to
like
talk
fruity
about our big
tea.
story.
Sure.
This is going to be a fun one.
Okay.
Mike, what would you say if I called you a fish?
You called me a fish. I'd be like, damn, what did you see me do online?
Them are fighting words? No.
No. I wish everyone
Like, that's
thought I was
accurate.
a fish. Yeah, no, sure,
okay,
I
so
suck.
one of the big debates on Twitter this week was the usage of the word fish, because Tiffany Michelle, former Poker News reporter, she's been in the poker media a very long time. She's down at the Talking Stick Casino in the Phoenix area. They have the Arizona State Poker Championship tournament that goes back many, many years. And she's down there. She's doing some content. She's playing. She tweeted out a video in which she bubbled, essentially, busted. And in the tweet that she sent out, she ended up calling the big blind, she said the big blind fish flats. And so describes the player as a fish. And you kind of see him in the video. Check it out.
Oh, I don't. Wait, I'll just take running hearts. All right. I'm that guy.
All right, so there you saw the video. Kind of, what do you think? Like, she's not saying in the video, like pointing at him, like, you're a fish, what a fish she calls. She said it in the tweet.
I mean, in the environment you're in, like, fine, but I feel like just it's like the vlogging at the table, like the showing the guy's face, like the kind of representing the casino. I mean, I love Tiffany. She's great. She's like a fun personality most of the time at the table. But there's been other instances of kind of just posting like negative things about really recreational players, like on a PokerNews platform or like Poker.org platform, where it just seemed kind of inappropriate. Like, don't show his face. Don't tag the venue. I don't know, like, fish is fine, whatever. You call somebody a fish to their face, whatever. But like putting it all over the internet is a little different.
Yeah, like if I was playing a hand against Tiffany Michelle, I would say playing against an old school pro if I was on a video. But if I was texting my friends about it, I'd say massive whale, bad pro, wannabe pro, Tiffany Michelle, you know.
I mean, Alan Kessler, of course, Alan Kessler, right?
I know.
He did chime in. He said, not a good look to call someone a fish and video them. And that elicited a response from Tiffany Michelle, a rather lengthy one. And I think that's what really started to put this into motion more. And people started chiming in with their opinions. And she kind of said that there was maybe a sexual element to this, where as a woman, she's getting criticized for calling somebody a fish, where she's seen men use that term a lot more loosely. I don't necessarily agree with that at all.
Yeah, I don't see that at all. I've berated many male poker players, and no females that I can remember at the table. Well, no, at the table, if someone starts talking shit on somebody else at the table, there's nothing that like pet peeves me more than that. Let's grow the game. If people play poorly and you think they made a bad move against you, you should be happy. You should want this person to continue playing against you, and we all want to have a fun time. Nobody should be calling anybody fish in the public sphere unless they want some sort of smoke with them, or unless they don't mind them, unless they don't mind them knowing that person thinks they're bad.
Right.
In this situation, there'd be no reason for her to want that guy to think, you know what I mean? It just comes off as like, it's not great. Just say recreational or guy who doesn't play a lot of poker or something like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Especially if you represent the venue. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna add on too and saying like the Alan Kessler element of it all too. Like Alan is not. I mean, Alan is a lot of things, but I wouldn't like call him sexist, And I think bringing the woman card in when you don't really, there are a lot of times when, it like situations are different because I'm a woman at the poker table, but not in that instance. I mean, I think it was just a misuse of a term. It was a misuse of a platform, and It is what it is. I mean,
we all make mistakes.
yeah, that's fine. And she kind of came out and made a joke about it afterwards, like, noted, won't use fish anymore. And it's like, okay. But I think this whole incident too, like, I don't know about you guys, but with my group of friends, it brought up the like vlogger element altogether and how kind of obnoxious that can be sometimes. Like, I know we all like to watch poker content, but like, if you're going to like pull out your phone and be like, in the middle of a hand, like that just gets annoying after a while. Like, keep your little station, whatever, do your little commentary afterwards, but like, don't be obnoxious about it. Not everybody wants to be in your content, you know?
I think it's a give or take too for us as as a poker community. It is annoying to have a vlogger at your table most of the time, right? I think we can all agree, like, being there, unless it's like everybody knows beforehand that this is the situation, we're all going to be playing for TV or whatever, it can be annoying. I think most people think it's, it can distract your game, yada, yada. But it's so good for the game to have more exposure to poker. You get worse players coming in the game, more exposure to newer players. It gets the game out there, and we all like to be entertained and watch it ourselves too. So it's one of those weird things where it's like, I don't know. There's definitely pros and cons to it, but
you guys play a lot more than I do, especially around Vegas. Like, what's the etiquette if somebody doesn't want to vlog? Do they sit down and say, "Hey guys, just so you know, I'm going to vlog. Does anybody have a problem with that?" Do some people just sit down and do it?
I've never been asked if it's okay. Like, no, like they just do it. Like, I mean, at the NAPT, I sat next to like two of those next gen guys, like I'm Frankie, and they just had their phones out, but they were respectful. They're like, we're not allowed to show like anybody else or the hands or the cards. Were only allowed to show like our cards in the table or whatever. It was some sort of like very strict filming requirement that they had to meet. And so like that was fine, but it's just like, I don't know. I don't even want my hands in my like situation sometimes to be, well, I mean, I don't mind. I'll go ahead and be in your vlog.
No,
but like,
how I feel too, yeah.
people in general, I've heard just, you just don't want that kind of exposure.
Yeah. There were a lot of well-known poker players in the community who chimed in, saying essentially that fish has some negative connotations, that you shouldn't, like you were echoing, just don't show the player, right? If you're going to show just the hands and the cards. I think everybody agrees that she didn't mean any harm.
I don't think it was necessarily meant to be malicious. It was more like, look at this dumb hand, and like, actually, it was a pretty dumb hand. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it was a weird hand. But the whole thing, I think it comes down to, like, I think she doubled down at the beginning, and that kind of got more people against her, and it became a bigger thing. I think it's she's... Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, not to interrupt. Like, to defend her a little bit, because she is old school poker media, much like myself.
Sure, yeah.
There's a few of us out there, and there was a time where such terms were used pretty liberally in reporting, right? I remember once in some live updates at an EPT high roller, I called in the updates somebody a whale. And I caught some blowback much like this.
Sure,
you shouldn't use that. You don't want to chase them off or what have you. And I get that. There's been other terms throughout the years that were once used widely, not so much anymore. Like, for instance, if somebody doubled up and left somebody short, you might used to say crippled, right? He crippled him.
Yeah.
And that word is kind of being phased out for the most part because some people might take offense to it.
Sure, yeah.
And so there are terms. I think there is evolution. I think fish is one of those, whale as well. But, being old school, and maybe she wasn't in the game as this happened, this change happened, because she even said in some of her tweets, like, when did this become such a big deal? When did this become wrong? But she did send a tweet out, like you said, saying, all right, I hear what everybody has to say.
Yeah.
Fish is no longer, going to be used. And I think she handled it fairly well. I was reading through the threads. She's very responsive to everybody. She addresses everybody. And, it takes not a lot of people we've seen on poker Twitter just double down.
Yeah.
Dominique Niche, right? With
Sure,
laptop
course,
gate for one. Here she says, all right, I hear you. I was wrong. It's not going to happen.
And she was trying to be funny about it too, which is appreciative. Like, those kind of things, if you are going to film them and post them, should be funny, and I think initially she meant it to be funny. She was sort of making fun of herself a little bit, and it just spiraled.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because of Alan Kessler. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, this damn Alan Kessler.
And by all means, too, like, some people were chiming in, like, hey, I don't mind the term. I'm a fish.
Yeah.
So
I'm a fish.
It's depending on the situation. Like, I would call either of you a fish if we were, playing a
Sure,
Mike would.
or vice versa.
I'm a whale. I'm really bad.
All right, well, let's talk about another big story that happened. This one was pretty, talk about bad beats. This could be one of the worst bad beats in the history of poker. It happened in Texas at the Lodge Card Club near Austin. So this is the card room owned by Doug Polk, Andrew Nemi, Brad Owen, and some others. So it's PLO, Parliament Omaha, my favorite game. They have a Bad Beat Jackpot. It starts at 100K. At this point in time, it was up to 118,000. And the Bad Beat basically says a straight flush has to lose on the flop, right? So you get 4 cards. You basically got to flop a straight flush against somebody else's straight flush and lose.
Sure.
It happened. These 2 players ended up flopping a straight flush. So the flop came down Jack, 9, 10, all diamonds. Somebody had the 8, 7 of diamonds. The other had the king, queen of diamonds. Fantastic, right?
Great stuff.
It's, the way it works with the Bad Beat Jackpot, there is a table share, a room share, but 50% of the pot, in this case, just over $57,000 was going to be awarded to the player with the 7, 8 of diamonds, right? The losing end of the straight flush. 25%, which is $28,600, was going to go to the winner. The rest of the 25% spread across. I think there was going to be at least $3,900 was the payout to the other people in the room, 39 players in games at the time. And I don't know, they're probably excited, ready to cheer this on. But then you get the Jack of Hearts on the turn, no big deal. Ace of Diamonds on the river improves the guy with the king, queen to a royal flush. And based on the rules, it has to be the winning and losing hands must be flopped.
Flopped, yeah.
And the winning hand in this case, yes, it was flopped a king high straight flush, but that's not the winning hand. The winning hand is a royal flush. And so it negated the Bad Beat Jackpot.
That's pretty sick.
No, that's like really sick. It's a level above the standard Bad Beat Jackpot getting canceled where you have the river might come and put a kicker out there that makes it invalidated. This one is even higher where it has to be flopped. They flopped it. They did it. But then the winning hand has to be qualified on the flop. Disgusting. I mean, really disgusting stuff.
Yeah, there are people out there who think it still should have been paid out because it was straight flush over straight flush on the. I'll tell you, we did a poll on PokerNews and over 2,400 people answered it, and 66%, so 2/3 thought
said it should be paid out.
Yes, the player still lost to a straight flush. It should be paid out.
You would want to be. I would want it to be. I would fight for it to be. But like rules are rules. Like I guess that makes sense. And it's not like the prize pool just goes away. It just stays and grows bigger, and you got to hit it again. I don't know.
I mean, Doug Polk tweeted it out and it got huge traction, right?
Yeah.
And, I think it even broke the algorithm, went into mainstream a little bit. And,
the algorithm was broke.
Well, they broke it. It cracked into the algorithm.
They broke it.
They didn't break it.
Straight up broke the internet.
And we love it when we can crack the algorithm. But, good publicity at least. Well, kind of, right? Like some people might be like, oh, you should pay it. But it gets people talking. It gets more eyeballs on. And just what a sick hand. Like I love playing PLO. And I can imagine I'd be so excited. They might have even, I wish there was video from it. Like I want to know, were people celebrating, high-fiving, we're about to hit this 6-figure
Well, I think they got it all in on the river, didn't they?
I didn't see how it played out.
I think they got it all on the river and it was like, they were just like straight flush. And they're like, I was straight flush. And they're like, ah. And one guy was like, but,
well, that's less exciting then. But yeah, I mean, I don't think that they should have to pay it out. Like the rules are rules, like you said, Unfortunate, yeah.
Is what it is.
Oh, man, that sucks.
The dealers were probably upset too.
Yeah.
Oh,
they're probably
so
like,
pissed.
The whole room was probably upset.
No, the dealers are
We
really
want a
pissed.
$3,900.
And they're like, what the fuck, Carl? Why'd you put that card out there? You just cost us all these tips.
Fucking Carl, dude. He does it every time.
Carl.
I don't know who the dealer was. I'm so sorry.
It was
Carl down there.
Yeah.
But a pretty sick hand. It's a shame that there isn't video because that could have been one of those like hand of the year nominees come Global Poker Award time. But I think a video has to be involved when it comes to
Seems
that.
fair.
So, yeah. Well, let's move on to the next story, and that is going to be one Kathy Liebert.
That's my dog.
Making some
Kathy,
headlines.
That's my fucking dog, Kathy.
She was over at the Wynn. They have their signature series going on, and there was a ladies' event that took place, and she ended up winning it. It was just a $300 buy-in event, but even still, she's in the Women Poker Hall of Fame, and she has been nominated several times for the Poker Hall of Fame. One of the all-time greats across the board, but she gets her comeuppance with being one of the best lady players ever.
Sure, yeah.
And here she is taking down a ladies event. I love it. I love Kathy, Poker Cat. She is always grinding. I always see her. We've interacted many times. And I don't know, this is one of those. Lisa Childers took second place in this one.
Oh, Lisa, yeah.
I recognize that name. So yeah, I don't know. I love seeing Kathy do well. Like, I'm not going to lie. She's an old school player,
She's fun to play with too. She's always like chatty Kathy, and she came to that ladies meetup game. It was really fun. I think some of the ladies were excited to play with her, and I was excited to play with her. I like playing with Kathy.
No, she's great. Yeah, old school legend, cool people. First time I met her, she was really friendly. Yeah, I like Kathy a lot. She's great. The lioness, Kathy Liebert.
She can bite if you get
100%.
on her bad side.
She's got some good results online too. Like she does really well.
Well, speaking of Lisa, as we mentioned, there was a Lisa Fleishman down at the Champions Club. They had their Summer Poker Open that just wrapped. $1,500 main event, 922 runners. And this one was won by Lisa Fleishman for $231,420. So you have a big female player striking it big down there in Texas. And we didn't have, but Abby Merk, who has worked with Poker News, was actually down there working for this event. And she did an interview with the champion, Lisa Fleishman. Check it out.
Congratulations on winning the Champions Club main event for $213,000. How does it feel?
It's amazing, and I just can't even, I'm in shock. I can't believe it.
Do you have any plans for the money?
Gosh, I'm sure I'm gonna have to buy my kids something very nice, and I'll probably buy my husband something, and then keep it for the poker fun, you know?
You had an absolutely dominating final table presence, super aggressive in the right spots. Were there any key hands that stood out to you?
Well, the ace 4 of hearts for sure, and I knew that I might have been behind there, but I was just like, I'm going for it. I'm going for the win. If I hit this heart, it's going to be on. And we were for 3 hours playing 12-handed, and I just was really patient. Got it in at the right times, and it held. It's fun when you win your flips. Everything just seemed to be going right.
Congratulations, and we'll hope to see you at Champions Club.
All right, congratulations to Lisa Fleishman on winning the Champions Club Summer Poker Open main event. I got excited. We've talked about it for the last several weeks. The NAPT is coming back to Las
Can't
Vegas.
wait.
We knew the dates, but we now know the schedule.
Yay!
$3 million guaranteed main event is the highlight of this, $5,300 buy-in. But there are buy-ins from $250 all the way up to $25,000. There is going to be, I believe it's $4 million in guarantees spread across the series. And of course, as I mentioned, $3 million of that is in the main event. There's a mystery bounty, $550 event that is likely.
Oh, that sounds fun.
That's kicking it off too.
Yeah.
So it's going to kick it off in a big way.
What are the dates?
This is running from November 1st through Sunday the 10th. So
Okay.
you get, what is that? Essentially 10 days of great poker action.
Any chance Resorts World? It's a Resorts World still,
Yeah.
right?
It is Resorts World,
No
yes.
chance they lose their license before then, right?
I hope not, because they are making headlines for
Yeah,
that.
that was kind of crazy.
That's like insane. I can't believe that. So
I don't know
crazy.
how it works. I know the Nevada Gaming Control Board is all over it. And,
Yeah.
fingers crossed it doesn't.
When I spoke to somebody, what they said was basically like, if they visit your casino and they say something like off-putting, that's scary. It's like if you get a phone call from them, that's really, really bad. It's like if you get a written email from them, it's horrible. If they file suit, you got problems. So
Well, sounds like they've got some problems. For those
Yeah.
that don't know what we're talking about, there was more like catering to bad money, essentially, right? Some illegal money.
yeah,
that are
basically
time-
allowing proxy sports betting, yada yada.
Yeah.
You could read up on it if you'd like. I don't really know the.
There was just that big controversy at Cherokee, too, about that this guy couldn't cash out his bet because they were like denying him a big cash out when they had posted his Instagram, like
Oh, right, because he
bet by proxy, like he had his bookie bet it, and so they wouldn't honor the payout.
So I wondered about that. So for those that don't know, it's a guy. He does some sort of promotional stuff with Harris Cherokee. Mm-hmm. He does some sort of promotional stuff with his Instagram where he posts a bunch of sports bets he makes, but he's only allowed to bet a certain amount. And the amount that he bet on this, he had to bet it through somebody else, which he's not allowed to do because it would go over the certain amount of bets he's allowed to place. And somehow
they wouldn't pay it out.
Somehow
Yeah,
they found out, which is
Well, I think he said it on Instagram. I think he said my bookie placed this bet. I think
Well,
he
he's an idiot
actually
then.
said
What
that.
can you do?
I
That's
don't know.
on him.
I remember following that story, but it's similar. I mean, that's basically what's going around now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sports betting's becoming popular. Like professional gambling is like skyrocketing, for careers, and sports bets are becoming more regulated. There you go.
Well, you can check out the NAPT schedule on Poker News. I'll link to it in the show notes. Hopefully, all goes
Back to the
according
NAPT.
to
sure,
plan.
yeah. I'm very excited
When's
to
the
see
ladies'
that.
event?
The ladies' event, let me look it up for you because you are the defending champion. It is going to be, let's see. I don't see it on the schedule.
Oh, no. We'll have to ask Leon.
I can't wait for the employees event. That's what I'm
Oh, there it is.
most
Sorry, I was
excited
typing
for.
in ladies. It is women's. They have it in
Women's
women's.
Yeah,
event.
So
women's.
it's Tuesday, November 5th. Remember the 5th of November.
Okay.
At 12:30.
Okay.
And there is a $25,000 guarantee and a $330 buy-in. So
nice.
there
All
you
right.
go.
Here
You'll
we
be
go.
there?
I'll be there.
There we
Awesome.
go.
That
If
should
you want
get
an
a great
autograph
turnout.
with Kyna England, you show up at Resorts World on November 5th. Somebody else who is going to be showing up at the Resorts World is my good friend Robbie Straczynski of Card Player Lifestyle. He also does the Mixed Game Festivals, and he's about to do Mixed Game Festival 9. It was recently announced in partnership with the PokerStars NAPT. So from November 3rd through the 7th, if you're there playing in the tournaments and you bust out or something, you want to play some mixed games, you can go down to the poker room and play. I have a lot of fun. I won't be able to play the tournaments because I work for Flutter, which owns PokerStars and PokerNews, but I can play cash games within resorts, and I love these mixed games. Like they're just like super razz where you need a qualifying face, like the wildest games you've ever played.
I love that type of stuff.
Yeah.
What's audio? What's his name? The Poker News guy got like a frog in my throat.
Audio Poker News guy, producer Scott.
No. There's a guy. The new poker variant game that he tried to get a Kickstarter for, Audio Slave or Audio something on.
Claudio. I know him as Claudio. Yeah.
Claudio. There we go.
Yeah.
But his name on Twitter is like Audio something. But yeah, I digress.
Well, there will be 3 tournaments as part of this Mixed Game Festival. There's a $550 buy-in, I think 2 $550 buy-in, and a $5,300 mixed game. So that's going to be a big one. So looking forward to
that's
having
gonna be really cool.
And looking forward to having Robbie back out here. They're always fun. If you can, if you're in Vegas, come check it out. I'll probably be there a couple of nights grinding away.
Nice.
All right. Sad news. The poker world has lost a few notable names in the past week. It's kind of one of those rules of 3, right? Like those celebrities, you always see it. And unfortunately, in the poker world, we've lost a few. The first one was one Matt Snook. Now, this is somebody that my colleague John Sofin reported on during the WSOP in the main event. He was Snook was in the midst of a year-long cancer battle, and his dream was to play the main event. His friends came together and gave him that opportunity. So that's where we caught up with him for Poker News. There's a great article. I'll link to it in the show notes. And unfortunately, he ended up passing away here, a month or so after the WSOP concluded. Happy that he got that opportunity, but very sad. He was diagnosed just earlier this year in January with an aggressive form of kidney cancer.
Jesus.
He was known, he was a country music singer, and he appeared on The Voice in the past.
Yeah.
So I know our colleagues and friends on the Run Good Poker series knew him pretty well, and our condolences there.
Terrible stuff, man.
Another one really terrible and surprising to me was that of New Jersey poker player, an online legend, really, and Dan Sewnig, just 33 years old. He is somebody I've interviewed over the years. I've reported on him. Like when I think of online poker stars in New Jersey, his name is high on that list. And this one was very sad and unexpected. Did you guys have any interactions? Did you know Dan?
A little bit. Not really personally, though.
Yeah, I played a lot with him online, like a lot online. We played a couple times live too, and yeah, we had some friendly interactions. It's always nice meeting someone you play so much with online in person, and yeah, hearing the news of him passing was obviously really sad.
It was really sad.
Yeah, if anybody out there is having trouble or like needs help or wants to talk to somebody, you can always reach out to me or anybody else. The poker community is, we try to take care of our own, and it's sad to hear, things like that happen.
He was very beloved in the poker community. Christian Harder, Daniel Strelitz, yourself, Mike, and Ryan Feldman, Chris Hunichin, all sharing on social media. That one was, certainly a very big gut punch, and our condolences to Daniel Sewnig's friends and family. And one last one, I actually had to write this piece today, this morning, somebody I knew from the Wisconsin poker community, the Midwest poker community, Alexander Hill. He is a guy who just loved poker. He was older. He actually made back-to-back deep runs in the seniors event at the WSOP. He finished 9th in 2022, and that came a year after he finished 15th. In that. He's won a WSOP circuit ring, finished 2nd in an MSPT. Just one of those guys, whenever I seen him in the hallways, stop and chat for a little bit.
Sure, yeah.
I've played against him. He was a great player, and he actually had cancer as well, lost that battle. What's really sad about this story is just a few days before he and his family lost unexpectedly his son-in-law. So
man,
it was
dude.
this double bad beat for the family. His son Alex Kestrel has been active on the Facebook groups that I'm a part of, and they have started a GoFundMe campaign to really just help with Alexander Hill's granddaughter and the daughter of the son-in-law who passed during this difficult time. There's an article up on Poker News. You can find all that information, but. Just, I hate writing these pieces, but I also feel like a responsibility.
Sure.
It's important.
Yeah.
I mean, they're big players in our industry, and we want to show them some respect. So.
Yeah. They will be missed. I want to ask, we're going to keep this episode pretty short. I've got a Las Vegas Aces game to go to. That's why we're wearing this shirt. What's up? What's coming up with you guys? We're going to be here next week to film. And then EPT Barcelona is right around the corner. Are you guys playing? Are you just, doing this post WSOP hangover? I know you are still dreaming of the Bahamas.
Yes, obviously. I am still missing the aquatic nature of such things. I miss the Bahamas. But I'm just playing online poker, just doing the regular stuff. Hopefully I win something big we can talk about it at some point,
Yeah.
Nothing crazy though, just grinding it out.
I still need to get over to the new Venetian Poker Room, so that's on my list.
Yeah, I've been hanging out there a little bit. I've been there a couple times in the past few weeks and just playing some of the local stuff, like the smaller stuff, the Wynn stuff, maybe like, nightlies. I like the Resorts World nightlies are fun. But, just flitting around until stuff starts up again. It seems like a slow time for poker. So please, everybody, could you create some Twitter drama for us to talk about next week?
I can whip something up for you.
There you go. I just got back from a trip back to Wisconsin. It was a fun one. I got to do a fantasy football draft. Football's right around the corner.
So much of that next week.
12-team, half PPR.
It's something, full PPR.
Love to see
it. And, I got Tua Tagovailoa on all my teams, 3 different leagues. One with David Tuckman.
I'm going to assume you reached for him for sure.
No, I waited. I showed restraint. But
in all of your leagues you have him?
Yeah.
That's
Hey, you laugh, but he went off last year, and I'm a
Tua is-
believer.
All right, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, no, 100%.
I have done zero research and I'm in 3 leagues, so I'm in trouble.
I'm targeting a lot of Jaden Daniels in the late round.
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
I was also at a cookout. So every year, my friends back home, we do this cookout at the lake. It's become like I grew up with these people. I've known them 35 years ish, and they all have families, different jobs, but we try to find this one day every year that everybody can come, bring their family. So that was a lot of fun as well. But I do have the itch to play some poker, so I'm going to check out the Venetian. I think I'm going to make my way to Red Rock, maybe grind a little cash, which I just don't ever do anymore.
Sure.
And then I don't know, the Wynn Signature Series is going on.
Yeah, the
so
Wynn
I'm gonna check that out.
1100 starting tomorrow. Come see your boy there. I'll be out there dishing 1-2s and haymakers.
Do you ever, I'm guessing you didn't play any poker in the Bahamas.
Yeah, there's no poker there. Yeah.
Like when you're here in Vegas from your day-to-day life, do you ever go a day without playing poker, whether it's live or online?
No. I mean, sometimes, yeah, but I don't know. It's one of those things where it's my favorite hobby and it's also my career, my job. So it's my source of income. And it's so easy to access. Like I can play a table on my phone anytime. Yeah, I try to play it every day. Yeah. I was gonna say at least every day. How much more could it be?
And I know the Charity Series of Poker has an event coming up on September 7th. It's the
I got an
All-In
email
for
about
Ability.
that today. Yeah.
I'm going to go. I love the CSOPs. This is the second annual one for this one. It's at the Sterling Club. Maybe we should, I'll talk to Matt Stout. Maybe all 3 of us can get there and maybe do some PokerNews Podcast bounty or something. I don't know. I think it'd be good.
Yeah, no, but I'd be interested in doing something like that. I've never done one of the CSOPs, but I've always wanted to. And I always managed to get in a tournament earlier. And then someone's like, "Are you coming?" And I'm like, I forgot it was today.
Well,
typical. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, what a surprise. Well, when is it?
The 7th.
The 7th of September. So
7th.
Yeah, I don't know what day of the week that is.
Couple weeks away.
Oh man, just let me know.
It's probably a Friday, I would think.
All right. Well,
I don't know.
I got one little teaser, if you will. We talked about the NAPT, and I don't have all the details ironed out. But for those listening or watching who might want to win their way to the NAPT, the PokerNews Podcast might be doing a little something to make that happen. It's not solidified yet, so I don't want to say too much. But hopefully in the next week or 2, that will be ironed out, and we'll be able to share details on that. I'm
So
pretty
you're telling
excited
me we
about
might
it.
be giving something out to one of the salty dog listeners?
Maybe.
Just like and subscribe, though.
And give us that 5-star review. We're going to be back next week at Level 9 Studio. I'm Chad Holloway, Kyna England, Mike Holtz. Until then, we'll keep a seat open for you.